Hello, Smash fans, and welcome back to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate North American Online Open October 2020 Finals. We still have all four competitors left as we have secured Whiskey's name in Grand Finals using that Robin, tearing through the whole bracket. Constant 2-0s all the way there. But on the other side of the bracket, we've got the losers, and that's where we're going to be taking a look very shortly with Nub going up against Shu.
Yeah, for sure. And, obviously, Shu, Nub, both very, very talented individuals. And honestly, it gets to the point where, we do run through this bracket and you see how Whiskey has kind of dispatched of the competitors and made it to grand finals, without dropping a game, the same fashion in which they've advanced throughout the entirety of this bracket, like just period, right? So that's when it becomes like these next three. Who's going to take it up to the next level to challenge Whiskey, okay, make this grand finals that much more exciting and maybe force a set number 2 like we saw previously.
We'll have to see Nub and Shu, of course. We've got Joker or Byleth against Zero Suit or Mario. So when you've got two players using two different characters and sort of a variety, what do you think they're going to have to come into this set ready for? Do you think we're going to see something more conservative like a Mario pick, or do you think that they're going to go for something a little bit, crazier?
I think, well, on the part of Shu, I definitely think ZSS is going to be kind of the go-to, no doubt about that. For Nub, I'm interested to see which way Nub will really kind of go. I think Nub is somebody who might have a little more options. For Shu, I think ZSS is kind of the go-to because I really actually enjoyed Shu's ZSS against when we saw him take on Whiskey, and I feel like obviously he switched to Mario, but I feel like if he had gone ZSS, he might have been able to go to distance and get the game number 3. So just kind of like the eyeball test right away, I think Shu could be Whiskey's toughest foe, down throughout. But we'll see. I mean, there's still a lot of Smash to be played.
A lot left to happen, so it does look like Zero Suit against Joker. And again, Yoshi's story, if I'm not mistaken, I think Nub played on this in the first match against Gio, our first match of these regions as well. So we'll see if Joker is the correct pick here against Shu, who has Zero Suit. Oh, I thought that was going to be a flip kick, but I guess not, going for the forward air instead. Probably out of percent range as Nub lands a little bit of a combo of his own.
All right, Nub didn't get the greatest showing, I'm sure, that they were looking for, but an opportunity to really kind of bounce back on this loser side of things. Against Shu, though, who's proven, again, I think, very capable of potentially being the toughest opponent matched up for Whiskey, depending on how things go, but we'll go ahead and settle that later. Got to get through Nub first and foremost. Right now has Arson backing up this Joker, which we know can be quite formidable. A lot of big things can happen, so we'll see if Shu lets kind of pull back a little bit or still going to keep the fight and bring the pressure to him.
So right now, 77-79 here. But with the Arsene going to do a normal get up. Shu wasn't ready for it. I think Shu expected to roll in. That's why he placed that back here. Very even between these two. Arsene will dissipate as Shu find his way in. Ooh, big zap and boost kick. That'll do it.
Nice.
The first stock.
All right, good stuff from Shu early, getting that stock. 93% he's sitting on, so nothing too bad, but actually able to get the grounded portion of that as well. So a lot of good stuff at the moment. Kind of rolling the way of my man Shu. Okay, what's the grab? But luckily for him, Nub not in position to really capitalize.
Yeah, there's a lot more just aerials here. I'm noticing a lot more sort of spacing in this match in terms of like smartly placing aerials so that the opponent can come in, as opposed to stuff that we've seen in the other matches. It felt like the other matches people were sort of drifting in, constantly going for attacks, but these guys are definitely playing a little bit more conservative, just trying to find their one opening so that they can keep running through.
I don't think anybody's really trying to give up any really kind of free stocks, free percent at the moment. I think that's, obviously the reason for all the conservative play. But how about Shu just continuing to be this aggressive? What a pickup coming out of that grounded state right into a boost kick to boost this advantage for Shu. My Lord, this is rough territory right now, I must say, for Nub.
Shu is playing with so much confidence. He's playing with fire. You saw that down air too. Shu was at like 170, 160 and down aired into Nub's shield. There's no reason to do that. You're losing your stock immediately, but he knew that Nub wasn't going to punish it. And because of that, I think Shu is just sort of playing so offbeat that Nub isn't ready for it. Nub trying to fire back with some stuff of his own, but he's already an entire stock behind. I don't know if Arsene's going to get you out of this.
And it's kind of the question at the moment is like, will Arsene be enough to be the difference maker? Well, first you got to get yourself grounded and kind of set up to really get that offense going. There we go, coming through, able to find a hit, but what a trade. Good stuff to shoot, and not pulling the trigger too early to allow that counter to be effective, but maybe too low for that boost kick to really make back the recovery that he needed. So Nub with an opportunity now, no Arsene, but still, at least he got it on even footing as far as the stocks go.
I think Shu's going to have to close this out quickly because Nub obviously is going to be getting that Arsene over time. All the damage that he takes is only making Nub stronger. And as long as Nub stays alive, he has a definite shot of finishing out this game. If he could just maybe get to the ground, get that Arsene, and then land that crucial back air, I think he'll be okay.
He was definitely looking to finish it in an aerial type fashion a minute ago, but just about halfway there for Nub on the Arsene watch. And this is again, Coney, where you played out so crucial for Shu to just kind of finish this off sooner rather than later, just knowing what's lurking in the wing. Get up attack to beat out the down smash. So that is going to be tremendous, actually.
Yeah, this is a very tense situation because right now Arsene just one hit from appearing and Shu is clearly struggling. There's Arsene. Will Shu find his way around this? All it takes is one hit. There's the back air. He's able to survive, but he's got to make it back.
The clutch DI and just the additional hit because no jump present to give Shu an opportunity to bring that thing back. Credits to Nub. Basically outlasted Shu, right? Like understood that time is ticking for Arsene to make its reemergence and really help solidify this victory. He made it to that point and did not disappoint. It's all about what you do with Arsene when he appears. And for Nub, it was bringing it back.
And I think that's what we sort of saw coming. We even said it. We were like, I think this might be what happens. And then that's exactly what happened. I mean, you saw Shu, who was so close, looking so strong. Nub was at like 120, 130, but all he needed was that Arsene to come out and then something to happen. It didn't quite go the way that we thought. The back air did not KO, but Nub was able to get that offstage hit that just barely knocked Shu far enough away. So I think the Zero Suit stays for this next one. I think it was fine. I don't think there was an issue for it. We'll have to see. Yep, Zero Suit once again. I think that Nub definitely knows his game plan going into this, and we'll see how they adapt to each other on this next game here at Town and City.
All right, here we go. Game number 2. What just a tremendous comeback from Nub. Just really just kind of playing to his character strengths and just outlasting Shu in the first game. For this one, though, I got to imagine Shu just kind of like already off the bat. So it's like, okay, going to be maybe an offensive flurry coming right in the face of Nub just to maybe try and make sure it's not a repeat of what we saw in that first game. But understand what all that offense does come the double-edged sword of the potential for Arsene. Go ahead and make that quick appearance, and there he is right on cue.
See if Shu can navigate around this. There's that back here. Not at any risk of KOing this early. Definitely puts on a formidable amount of percent. Shu trying to SDI out, I think. And he almost ran off the stage because he didn't realize exactly how close he was to it. 74 to 60, gets that forward throw. What's the tech option? Just normal. Get up into a forward smash. Shu just barely misspacing that or maybe mistiming the down smash. He's going to pay dearly for it.
That he is, and that is actually a tremendously big deal. Okay, trying to make the call where he's going. Not quite. Oh no. Okay, we just out here just straight shooting shots at the moment. Actually, a really good position for Nub to be in, all things considered, especially when you think how this thing started. Shu 131 has got to be super careful not to let any of these straight hits kind of connect, because that could result in the stock loss, Arsene or not.
Yeah, that would be the worst case scenario, right? Is if Shu somehow loses the stock to like an up smash or like a back air or something like that, and then the Arsene comes out later, but it doesn't matter. Shu gonna land that whip, try to give himself the game, but Nub jumping right over the paralyzer, gonna get a back air of his own, and we're down to a 2-stock game.
All right. About as close as you would expect at the moment. No one's really gaining any kind of big, tremendous ground. Honestly, pretty well reserved on both sides of things. Like these openings that are being presented are definitely not any that are kind of like just being ran through. Like these are just kind of, okay, I'm telegraphing, I'm anticipating when you're going to make a mistake, and that's what I'm trying to capitalize. In the case of Nub, Arsene, let's see what he can do with it. Some big damage needs to kind of follow up. You've got to make this count, but to Shu's credit, using those acrobatics of ZSS to, for the most part, avoid a lot of this onslaught.
Yeah, extremely evasive, getting caught there out of that flip kick. Has to air dodge in because he's not going to get it back. He's barely able to make it back to the stage. But that's a really good point that you made, is that I feel like so many other sets that we've seen today have been almost like runaway trains. The one guy just sort of demolishes his opponent. This match and this set has been very sort of even-keeled on both sides. Right now, they're almost at dead even percents, and we've seen moments for both players to shine. Is Nub going to land that downer and catches the flip kick? There's no flip kick available. We'll see what the punish is. There's nothing put out by Nub there against Shu.
All right, Shu getting back to the stage safely. A little bit fortunate, honestly, when you think about it. Oh, what a commitment from Shu, making the play he needed to. Yes, absolutely. Got to take those opportunities to strike. Can't be reserved all the time, and that is tremendous for Shu. Let's see if he can really just kind of push this lead even further. Looking to do it. Nub, though, catching him, honestly, on a lot of these returns, even though he's using those platforms to kind of be evasive, and Nub still running him down.
Pull out the down gun's not going to happen. Nub going to use that superior recovery to sort of try to force something. Right now, Shu, yeah, he goes for the down air. I was wondering if he was setting up for that because he rolled in. He did everything to sort of try to get it all the way to the very edge, but it's not going to happen. 143 now. He's got to find a way to evade this Arsene. Neil's got a third of the way done, and he jumps right into the back air. You got to be careful.
Big, meaty trade for sure, and that is really tremendous right here for Nub, who's looking to wrap this thing up with a potential 2-0. A few embers left on this Arsene, but definitely going to fade out, so it's going to be all up to Joker himself. And he's that combo game, trying to rack up some of this percent, make up the difference. Oh my goodness, the shoot with the evasion, the combinations, the strings, and the pressure, all of it. Mountain gets caught up. Boost kick might just do it, and it will. Game 3 is confirmed. Shu with the solid strike back.
You know what's crazy is we were just talking about how neither of these players is going a little bit too far forward. Nobody's trying to make any mistakes. Nobody's forcing themselves into a situation. But right there, I think what you saw was that Nub may be a little impatient. He was on the ledge. He was just sitting there. All he had to do was wait a second. He saw the paralyzer charging, but Shu just letting it rip, catching Nub out of that jump, and then going for the boost kick. Maybe there it was time to sort of ease up a little bit. I feel like these guys have been playing pretty conservatively the whole set, but they're a bit of an error on Nub's part, I think.
Yeah, very, almost uncharacteristic to an extent as well, too. So, but that's going to prompt us for this third game. Really just two even competitors here in our losers semi. So nothing wrong with seeing a little game 3. Going to stick to the script with the ZSS versus Joker, and we are headed to a little bit of that town and city. Love to see it. And either one of these guys, obviously, for that last match, nobody unfamiliar with anything coming to this extent. But my goodness, man. Again, I really do feel like, just based on what we saw, I think Shu might be the best matchup potentially to go up against Robin. But you know what? It's in these losers bracket. It's in these times where your tournament life is truly on the line that we just see so many players just excel. And I feel like Nub is definitely rising to the challenge right now and has a good opportunity to keep on advancing and go against Gio.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Some players just have that X factor, have that sort of a go hard moment, where they just start going crazy in the bracket. And we saw Gio's actually earlier on when he just had Whiskey on the side, but unfortunately it was not enough. And we see Nub with that back throw, trying to find a way. Nope, not gonna land anything. Shu gonna make it back to the stage, and Nub now with Arsene out. Shu has to be extremely careful.
Okay, Shu trying to make another deep play off the stage, but this time it's gonna his rebuttal. It's gonna 92? Be the boost kick, and that take it at 92 with Arsene on. Like, wow, okay. Maybe not expecting it was Nub, but certainly Shu delivering it with the authority. And now look at this. He is really just kind of picking up steam. A lot of damage being thrown on there, make it 41%. And Shu just continuing just to apply it and not really forcing anything too after those 2 up airs. I like the fact you didn't try and pull the trigger, get kind of cheap or anything like that. Let me just be efficient. Let me just be very stoic in my approach as well.
See the up throw again, another evade by Shu, who's using that flip kick to great effect. Has been caught for it in the past, but not this time. Shu Already at 171. He's trying to, yeah, a little tricky with that flip kick. Oh, wow, and a extra tricky with that back air, the double back air off stage. Nub at 85 losing that stock, and Shu may have just punched his ticket into losers finals. All he needs is one more stock.
I was going to say that might be all she wrote, Coney. That was the play perhaps of the set, and the difference is written all over. Just goes for the boost. At this point, it's all about just damage, right?
No.
I was thinking, right? Like, why not?
Yep. I thought he would go for it. I mean, you're already up 2 stocks. Who cares? But Shu gonna play a little bit safer. Not gonna go crazy. Just gonna ride this one all the way home. Arsene is gone. The meter's empty. Shu has every chip on the board to advance on. Nub needs a miracle here.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know if it's gonna come Sunday or not. It is definitely it's a tall ask at the moment when you're facing a deficit like this. So for Nub, it's all about like, oh, just fight through as best I can. For Shu, it's like I'm taking my time. I still understand victory is right there, but this is his match to lose. So there's really no reason for him to kind of force anything when it's seemingly just kind of being handed to you at the moment.
122 here. There's the flip kick, and nope, it's not going to happen. You need a lot of time to mash out of that one, as Shu will advance over Nub 2-1 to make their way in the losers finals. Nub showing us some stuff, definitely making it competitive with the game 3, but unfortunately just a couple errors on his side, and Shu really responding, taking advantage in a big way with that double back air on the right side and that boost kick that KO'd it, like, I think 92, something super early on the left.
No doubt about it, man. It just good, honestly, just good, solid play. And the crazy thing with the boost kick, it was like a rebuttal. It was a rebuttal to what Nub was trying to do. So the fact that they actually got the stock off around 90, that was the whole turnaround right there that just allowed him to just run away with that.
Let's take another look at the bracket, fellas, while we wait for our next match to get ready. So, of course, Shu will advance on, defeating Nub. Don't worry, Nub, you're still going home with the top 4 trophy. Meanwhile, Gio has been waiting. We'll be facing up against Shu very shortly. This is going to be a matchup of maybe Ness against Zero Suit, I would imagine. Of course, there's always that Mario too. Mario doing well against Ness. I think that Mario against Ness is a great matchup, but I'm not sure if online is going to play a different factor in it. Ness having a lot of little minor vulnerabilities in his play that you can exploit, but I think it's going to be difficult for Mario to do so. So I feel like Shu might just go Zero Suit here.
I was kind of thinking the ZSS is kind of like the almost a hot hand too, right? Now, obviously, Shu is somebody obviously very capable player, can probably juggle back and forth with no problems. But when your ZSS has been kind of your go-to, and the only time we've seen Mario wasn't a losing effort, I think ZSS is what you at least open up with, right? That's kind of what you dip your toes in the water and see how it's going to fare. Because I definitely like the ZSS. And I would not feel like that's going to be an overwhelming matchup for Ness by any means. I think ZSS can keep stride very well. And again, like some of that range as well is going to be pretty pivotal.
We'll have to see. I think the stage is also going to have a lot of effect on this one, depending on where they end up. If it's something big and wide, I think that's actually going to help out Zero Suit a lot, because Zero Suit has so much threat in these short hops. I think Ness sort of hits you off, and he brute forces stage control with the forward air and with the neutral air and his jumps. But I think Zero Suit with more space can kind of drift back and then drift back in. Ness sort of goes all in when he jumps, and I think Zero Suit is a little bit more evasive. So I'm very interested to see where we end up, if it's something like Kalos or Town and City. Looks like PS2 is the order of the day. It sort of changes things up a little bit, but I'm sure neither of these players are complaining. This stage is beloved by so many.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how many times do you see people just elect to just strike here and just start through this in tournament play? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a stage that nobody's really going to have any complaints about. So here we are. Anyway, as we predicted, yes, we're going to see the ZSS against the Ness, obviously. See what Shu can do, just coming off of a very impressive win over Nub. Sure, he would be itching to get an opportunity at Robin. If you guys just tuned in, Robin being piloted by Whiskey, who's sitting in grand finals right now. So there's definitely some unconventional things that have been taking place today, but certainly entertaining and impressive nonetheless. One of these guys looking to have a date with destiny. Right now, Shu starting things off, opening the door, and maybe opening up this first match for himself.
Huge boost kick there, and there it is again, the neutral air into up smash, that bread and butter that we've seen from Shu over and over again. Gonna air dodge back to the stage. Shu just trying to cut through these stocks on Gio, who, again, I think really is struggling to find any sort of footing. I think Zero Suit is just so good at forcing Ness to do something and then backing up and then punishing him for it. There's a back air, has him off stage. Oh, might have been able to absorb the Thunder. It's not going to happen. But Gio with another SD, just like in the first set that we saw from him.
Yeah, again, another pretty much unforced error there from Gio, and I'm not sure what's really behind that, if it's just nerves or just like overthinking to an extent. But you know, for Shu, I mean, he's going to take full advantage of that, and he's not going to allow this kind of lead to kind of get away from him. I mean, we are potentially, Coney, even in losers finals, on the verge of seeing maybe a 3-stock. I mean, the way things are going and the commitment that Shu is willing to go for, he's ready to just unload with that third forward air. Did not happen. The back throw finally going to get Gio a stock, but is it too little too late is the question a lot of us are asking.
I think so. I mean, like, that back throw, it looked like Shu DI'd left. He was just like, let's get this over with. I want this to end. It looked like he was just so confident there. Gio needs something big. I mean, this is the same thing that we saw with Nub in the last match, where Shu is just up so much in terms of just life. There's the boost kick. That should do it. Yeah, and Shu, 35% 2-stock. Let's not forget, Gio did SD, but even still, Shu was just sort of outpacing him the entire way.
I mean, you could argue the SD saved him some embarrassment. I'm just, I'm gonna keep it 100% with you. The way that thing was going, Shu was not playing around, bro. Because I mean, good Lord, he came with the fire right out the gate, and he did not look back. So Gio gonna have to kind of recompose himself and kind of think, best of 3, potentially my last game. How do I want to go out here? Okay, how do I want to let the dice roll? Okay, so there's a lot for Gio to kind of take in right now. Shu is just like playing like another day at the office, eager to get that rematch clearly against Whiskey.
I think Shu's momentum from the last game against Nub really carried over. He's playing exceptionally hot. And like I said before, if you're waiting for an opponent, if you're sort of sitting at a point in the bracket, sometimes you get a little cold. Sometimes you're not quite prepared for the rush down, for the onslaught that you're about to face. And I feel like Gio was sort of in that boat there. We'll see if he can compose himself for the second game, as we are now. Oh, Marth. Okay.
Interesting. What do you think? Is this I think I can win, or is this like a we'll see what happens?
I think I could be wrong here, but we're casting for a reason, so hear me out. I think that Ness just really struggled against Zersu. Like we saw before, Shu just like was able to deftly weave through Ness's attacks and punish him for trying to do anything. And I feel like having that range disadvantage as Ness is just really tough. And now he's opting for Marth, who can sort of put the hitboxes out preemptively. He can swing the sword. He can use the disjoints and try to stop Shu from jumping in rather than letting Shu jump in and then jump out, That'd be my guess.
No. I mean, that's perfectly reasonable, especially you pretty much highlighted all the reasons why he's probably like, yeah, Ness is not the call for this. Okay, so I got to go to something else. And it's like his go-to being Marv, kind of seldomly seen, but I mean, that's, look who we have in grand finals. We got a Rob in grand finals, so I can't hear about seldomly seen characters, so never quite know what could happen. Gio struggling a little bit, Shu with the advantage, obviously up a stock, 93%, and still just kind of weaving and bobbing, and even these approaches from Gio almost getting stuffed to an extent. You see a nair there, but just gets right back to the ground and just continues to assert himself and is putting out so much damage as Shu, and that is where it is. It's just all about the damage for Shu when he gets these leads and these extensions he's able to put on.
Yeah, I think this might just be a mismatch. I don't know if Gio was ready for this. Shu committing all the way with that forward air. He knows it's not going to get the stock, but it's going to do a little bit more damage. If Gio was off on the DI, he might have been able to get something even more, but Gio just seems ill-prepared for a Zero Suit of this caliber. Shu doing everything correctly. Just a flip kick from ledge for no reason. Just so bold, and Gio maybe needs to spend a little bit more time in the air. Keeps getting grounded there from it. Gets hit by the boost kick.
Yeah, I mean, I think underprepared is definitely the word of choice here. I mean, obviously, Shu is just playing like absolutely out of his mind, almost lights out to his sense. So if you're Whiskey, you're kind of thinking to yourself, okay, I know this guy, he's able to kind of keep pacing, well, especially with ZSS with my Robbins. It's not going to be an easy bout coming up in grand or finals. And right now, you can almost just consider this a hand warmer the way it's been going. My man Gio has literally had some incredible feats throughout this bracket, but kind of running into a brick wall in the form of Shu maybe getting some offense for him. We see it down a dare into forward smash, but just really not adding up to enough where I'm seeing any kind of tremendous difference being made at the moment.
Yeah, I think it might be day late, dollar short on this one. Gio able to land those strings, but I mean, like, even if you were Lucina, you might have been able to get a little bit more off of that, right? With the forward smash, but Marth, you got to be so precise. Yeah, it's just so difficult to get this train rolling on Zerasuit, and to space her out, honestly, for the same reason that we saw in the Nest match. She's just so tricky, so evasive, and finally that flip kick tries to go for the shield breaker, expecting Shu to be sitting there at the ledge with the shield up. Does not happen. Gio will plummet into Town and City, and Shu will move on to grand finals after that losers finals. Just a dominating bout there against Gio.
Yeah, Gio, as you said, plummeting. Meanwhile, Shu ascending to grand finals to meet Whiskey, and definitely going to put on a heck of a show, no doubt about that. But that was like, I mean, you could just see the bracket. You could just see what they had to endure, what they had to go through to get to this point. The man delivering the 2-0s and sitting over there, Whiskey. And keep in mind, okay, that Shu earlier in this bracket was on the receiving end of one of those 2-0s. So this is going to be big for him coming in, getting this rematch in grand finals.
Yeah, he's got the momentum on his side too, and let's not understate that. Zerasuit, a character that definitely can roll with the momentum, can if she's just sort of running through her opponents, she can get a lot done. Whiskey has been a little cold just sitting over there, but if there's one thing we saw from Whiskey, it's just that set with Shu earlier did not look close. Actually, he switched to the Mario, and it looked even worse. Whiskey has looked untouchable so far in this bracket. Has only won 2 sets, though, and there's a little bit more Smash to be played, so we're going to be going to grand finals. Whiskey against Shu very shortly. Zerasuit against Robin, I think, all the way through. I think that maybe Shu may be playing a little bit hotter now, just in terms of being warmed up, being ready to go. We saw, I think if you have a montage of his play in that first set and then compare it with the montage of that last set, I think it's 2 different players. It feels like Shu is a lot more comfortable and has adjusted a lot more. You know,
it was the risk factor, right? He as the tournaments progress, he seems more willing to take risks. We saw him go off stage several times, much more than I feel like we saw him in a couple of those earlier games as well. And in the calculation, like a lot of those plays that he's making, like he's anticipating where his opponents are going to be before he just kind of throws out down smash, boost kick, up air, things of that nature. So for that is definitely something that Shu can definitely hang his hat on. It's really going to make it more difficult for Whiskey, and not going to get favored to start off here with a little bit of that Kalos. Okay, we're not going to Kalos right now. We're taking it to Yoshi's. Okay, so Shu already probably smiling at that opportunity. And, you know, we say it all the time. The person in grand finals, obviously they're there for a reason, but there's always that potential of not having that hot hand. Shu coming through after winning several games to get to this point, and now Whiskey, we don't know what his procedure has been since last we've seen him play.
And may have been playing on some Elite Smash, some quick play, something like that, but already Shu coming out of the gates, just going 100 here. 77 on Whiskey to start things off. And you were saying that you thought Shu might stand the best chance against Whiskey later on in this bracket, despite the fact it was a 2-0. Are you seeing sort of the stuff that you were expecting now?
I especially like to your point about being a little more warmed up. I definitely think this is what I'm seeing from Shu, and I like it too, because it just seems like more calculated and confident gameplay. Look how he just recovers and turns that into a favorable situation to eliminate that stock. Just no hesitation from Shu. He is definitely well suited for this battle, and Whiskey gonna realize I can't be playing with my toes right now. I'm going up against an absolute assassin who's coming after my opportunity at capturing this title.
Shu's gonna have to win 4 games, remember, guys, because it will be a reset if he's able to take this set. Whiskey finally gonna land that forwarder. Whiskey only needing 2 games, 6 stocks total to be able to win the whole event. Now he's kind of getting rocked around by these aerials from Shu. Another flip kick. Shu just constantly using that flip kick. It seems very difficult to keep up with if you're somebody as slow as Robin in terms of just the moveset. I feel like he doesn't really have much unless you place it before Shu even goes for it.
Yeah. The movement, the acrobatics right now that I'm just seeing from Shu, just so well engaged at the moment, and really Whiskey just, and that's one thing I said about Robin, like, you know, again, heavy resource character, gonna say that a lot, but like when you're getting put in these situations where you're not comfortably at a pace where you want to kind of operate with when it comes to like recovering everything, making sure everything is online and things of that nature, like you got Shoes just coming at you a mile a minute. Okay, I mean, the man is just not letting him breathe at all, and I think that's certainly a turnaround from what we saw the first time these guys had their encounter.
114 to 120. Gonna try to land that down smash. Whiskey has fought his way back into this. It's pretty even, but I feel like the KO is going to be a little bit tougher as long as Shu doesn't fall into the same stuff we saw before. A dash attack from Robin. I don't know if I've ever seen that KO. One of the worst dash attacks, honestly, in the game, but perfectly placed by Whiskey. Well done.
When we say it takes everything, Coney, we mean it. All right, worst moves or not, okay, we mean it. And just like that, Whiskey has come to life despite the very blazing start that we saw on the part of Shu. 51% final stock. Meanwhile, Whiskey enjoying life at 140, living on the edge. Quite literally, he is really holding this left side, not getting up for anything until that moment rolls in to the stun gun, and that's going to be it for the stock. So opportunity still here for Shu, but Whiskey looking to not be denied.
This is so scary for Shu because you're at 83%. You know any just wild hit will KO. If you land into one of those arc fires, if you get caught by a back air or something with the 11 sword, it's going to be so difficult, especially on a stage this small. So Shu has to play very, very tight here. He can't overcommit, can't go for a boost kick that won't land like that one. Only a dash attack, not as bad as it could have been, but you know he saw his light flash.
Ooh, and these arc fires so good for ledge trapping. I love the fact that he pulled the trigger, able to get back just ever so slightly though. Oh, Barry! Oh, the tree! No,
the coverage!
Are you for real? That could have been the decider had Shu got out unscathed.
He has to watch those flip kicks. Shu just keeps going for them in neutral. Finally, the plasma whip will land, and I thought that Shu might have been spelling his doom with these constant flip kicks. It felt like he just kept doing them out of the corner over and over, and Whiskey was trying to prepare for them, trying to be ready, and there actually got caught by that wild option of the plasma whip off stage. Shu gonna go up 1-0 in what may or may not be the final set.
Honestly, I think I'd be hard pressed to think we're not going to go to a set number 2. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that's almost the theme of the day.
Written in the stars.
Guy in grand finals, 2-0 his way there. Guy who comes back from losers starts to heat up, gets it cooking, gets more confidence, starts to make the plays a little more consistently that make things that much more difficult than our gentleman who's been sweeping the bracket up until that point. So good stuff to Shu. I mean, he really held it together down the stretch. And as you said, that plasma whip, about as clutch as it gets, securing that.
It's really interesting to see the bracket dynamics at play here as Whiskey lands on Final Destination, which I would think would be good for him. I haven't really seen... Oh, wow. Double hit with that arc fire. I haven't seen Whiskey do really anything with platforms today at all. And I feel like Shu has done so much with it. The up airs and the combos are constant. So I think Final Destination is Whiskey's home.
I would agree, especially when you open up not taking a single percent. But you go ahead and just take all that stock. Yeah, I would say that that's the way to do it for sure. My Lord, I mean, we were kind of touting how this man was just dominating on Kalos. You remove any kind of platform, I suppose in this case, Tony, you remove any kind of chance he has. Oh, Lord.
Oh, maybe go next on this one. It might be time to go next. We're not even a minute into the game and you're on your last stock. Flip kick spike, huge answer back there from Shu, but even still, I mean, like, if it was 2 stocks to 1, maybe, but it was 3 to 1. Whiskey's still so far ahead. As long as he isn't rocked by that, his confidence, which he shouldn't be, I think he's well poised to make this a game 3.
I would be tremendously surprised if he let this one kind of get away from him. Obviously, Shu's still fighting, though, still making this a competition, no doubt about that. But just the way, when you start off with that strong, it's just like, how do you let that one get away from you, right? How do you get rattled to that point? Though I will say, if by some chance Shu does bring this back, that's a heck of a statement on his end, and it says a lot heading into potentially the second set that we're going, but looks like we might be heading into game number 3 the way Whiskey is playing at the moment.
Yeah, you got the 1 bounce, but not 2. I was going to say, if he could make that comeback, that would be legendary, but unfortunately it's not to play. Crom makes an appearance for the first time in either of these events here in the winning animation for Whiskey. Well done. Shu is now back to the wall. Totally cornered. You need to win this next game. I think you don't change. I think you have to stay Zero Suit, but is the only answer to not get Final Destination? Is there anything he can do to change his fate other than I don't know what he can really do because the stage is random, right? It's one of 8 stages.
I almost feel like even if they were to go back to FG, it's really like just from jump, it was just like he was just overwhelmed in the first 10 seconds, right? It was like 10 seconds in, 80%. Like basically don't get 0 to death. I think that was like a big component on why that went so awry. Now here we have Battlefield, regular Battlefield, and this is a tremendously good stage for ZSS. Like if you're looking for a closeout game for a potential reset, you couldn't ask for anything better if you're Shu right now. So this could be tremendous, and I'm sure it'll put a little bit more pressure on Whiskey to really have to perform.
This stage can be good for Robin, but honestly, like I said, I have not seen Whiskey really utilize the platforms all that much. Doesn't really seem part of his playstyle. He seems a lot more attuned to sort of flatter stages like Final Destination Town and City. So we'll see how he does right now. Very even between these two, but I do think your point is a very salient one. The fact that Zero Suit really does well on stages like this. Excellent use of that forward air. We saw it in a previous game where Whiskey would just throw out an aerial preemptively, expecting Shu to jump into it. That huge zap into dash attack. I love that.
I love these arc fires too. Trying to pin him down on the edge. Nicely done by Whiskey, yes. This is where that projectile storm might come through. Able to get the ground. Oh, but whiffs on the connection with the boost kick follow-up. I wouldn't have got this stock, but definitely would have put himself in a great position and maybe still be alive fighting. Unfortunately, though, those boosted up attacks right there from Robin making the difference. Maybe helping going a long way into securing this third, potentially final game of this tournament.
We'll see right now 92% on Whiskey. Not too high. Just going to have to watch the boost kick. Try to not get grounded, man. Shu's getting a lot of free stock. Yep. Shu's getting a lot of mileage out of that. Fortunately, Battlefield is so huge that Whiskey doesn't need to worry too much, at least not right now. Wow. Wait a minute. What does he have to get back? Yeah, all he has is the air dodge. Okay, he was able to make it back just barely. I was going to say, he doesn't have flip kick, and I don't think he has a jump, but Shu barely able to make it back by the tips of his fingers.
Fortunate for him. You see what he did there again, like kind of reversing the pressure that Whiskey was bringing and just sending out that boost kick, which got rid of the stock. So yet again, we see him kind of turning somebody's own pressure against him in that situation. Shu, still opportunity to bring this one back, and he's doing just that. Again, you just see the confidence just flinging off the stage. Meanwhile, man, Whiskey trying to reestablish himself, gets the arc fires out. Again, great for them. Ledge traps, all that kind of pressure coming out and just letting these projectiles fly. It's kind of like a storm in a sense when Whiskey's able to really just kind of apply himself. Obviously, with some of those go-tos. Oh my goodness, but getting hit with that up air, and that could be the closer. Can we make this stock really count is the question for Whiskey, because this is going to determine who takes this set at the moment.
So that huge boost kick, not quite enough. 124 here. Whiskey has to stay calm, has to hold this stock, and you see Shu just letting it rip. Flip kick after flip kick. Maybe getting a little too crazy with it, but he's not getting punished just yet. Whiskey gonna go low with the recovery, not try to force things, but jumps right into the up smash. Shu had him covered.
Could have just stayed grounded, ran up and got a grab, and any kind of percent other than just coming out. But I guess the anticipation was not expecting that up smash, and that's a big deal for Shu. Now maybe running away with a little bit more momentum. Whiskey trying to close this thing out, really just taking a couple of these hits that I'm just not expecting to be the case. Whiskey making some mistakes that I'm just not accustomed to seeing on his end, but credits to Shu for really kind of forcing a lot of these options out, because he has definitely been a bulldozer at the moment.
So right now 54-70. You can see Whiskey is constantly throwing out aerials trying to catch flip kick. That's a constant check.
Yep.
He's doing the short hop forward airs trying to catch both a jump or a flip kick. Shu is just throwing them out liberally. 85%. Tries to throw out the arc fire. I think he expected to bounce off his shield there, but not going to happen. Shu is one hit away from losing this event. All it takes is one clean hit from Whiskey, and that'll do it. But Shu trying to fight back. Huge upbeat from Whiskey, putting himself in a terrible spot, but he's going to make it back.
Ooh, tried to go for that dare, not having any of it. Whiskey trying to land safely, does just that, gets behind him again, taking back center stage. Nobody overcommitting at the moment. Who is going to blink first is the question. Down the stretch we go, and I love what she was doing. I'm gonna just hold position. I'm content. I'm gonna slow things down, pick my spot. How many times have we seen him able to just kind of get the grounded, confirm? Ooh, left himself open for just a second, but still, Cody, he's surviving.
Oh, jeez!
To that point, my friend. To that point. What a play.
Oh my gosh, no zoom in, no effect, no nothing. He just was gone. A huge, you said that it felt like there was a storm and there was the lightning bolt coming down. Whiskey just obliterates Shu, and he is your Super Smash Bros. Ultimate North American Online Open October 2020 Regions 3 and 4 Grand Champion.
There it is. And just about as quick as you said that sentence was as quick as that match ended, because if you blink, I promise you missed it. Whiskey just holding his own. I love what Shu did there. In a match where it was just kind of back and forth, the intensity is kicked up, just went to both sides, just slowed it down to a pace, but Whiskey did not fall prey to those tactics and still able to get the job done.
Let's take a look at the bracket for one last time for sentimentality's sake. So let's take a look. Whiskey going up 2-1 on Shu. Shu looking so strong there at the end, but it just was not enough. The master tactician one step ahead on that one. Whiskey will be your grand champion. Shu at second place, Geo at third, and Nub at fourth once again. Obviously, Whiskey wins the grand champion prize of the trophy. Meanwhile, our top four, everybody's going to get something, as they've all deserved it. Top four of over 1,200 competitors. Just to make it this far, man, what an accomplishment.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it really just came down to, like, whether you're first, whether you're fourth, nothing to be ashamed of either way. You as you said, you outlasted over 1,200 other people in this kind of competitive environment. You got nothing to be ashamed of. You performed well. Thousands of people watching you. Like, that was good stuff. And if they didn't know your name before, they know it now.
No question. So excellent stuff to Whiskey, taking it all the way, defeating everybody in his path. Not quite 2-0s all the way through, looking like it for a while, but Shu was able to turn the heat up a little bit. And what a run from Shu, man. Just losing 2-0 pretty decisively in that first set, and then to take it all the way back, just barreling through everybody in your path to try to make it to grand finals. I mean, we said it before. We know he's an offline presence. Sure. Zersuit player has been playing the game for a very long time, and I think we've really got a taste of that there.
No doubt about it, man. That's what happens when you're able to combine that, that good offline experience you have along with the Wi-Fi realm as well. Like, it comes together for something very impressive on both sides of things, for sure. No matter whether you're first or second, just a lot of talented competitors. And I'm looking forward to seeing them come through, because we've obviously seen some returning champions, between this regions 5 and 6. So I look forward to the next time we get to bless the mic and see who's going to be there for another good bout of top 4 action.
No question. It's been an incredible time. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much. My name is Coney, for myself, EE, for our production team behind the scenes. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate North American Online Open October 2020 Finals. We'll see you next time.